everybody. Welcome into Talking Town. This is the second time I've introduced the show. The Gov is pressing the buttons from the car park at Portman Road, so apologies if it isn't as slick as usual. It's finished Ipswich 1, Watford 1. Joining me are Steve Thompson, regular on the show, and one of our new contributors, who's been a guest on the show previously, is Steve B. Welcome in, gents. We were chatting about this before we even went live, didn't we? Start with you, Steve B, as we was kind of mid-conversation before Gov pressed the button. Was it 2 points dropped this evening, do you think?
Yeah, definitely. We had a plethora of chances at the end. And I just think he's obviously changed. He's had the force changes, believe. I get that with the tight hamstring. Obviously, George Hurst was a bonus. Obviously started up top. But taking Nunes out of 10, you just see the difference massively. He's the puppet maker. He pulls the strings, and I think you see the difference when he come on. In respect of it, he's very slow. The build up is very slow, and you can tell the difference. In my opinion, Matt, really.
Yeah, I would agree with you, Steve Thompson. Was it a bit case of after the Lord Mayor's show? I mean, we got a great result at Loftus Road on Saturday, the 4-1, and as we rightly say, that we even said, would Nunes make the side on Tuesday? Kind of tongue in cheek. McKenna gave us our answer. He didn't.
Yeah,
he started on the bench. It felt to me like it was too much huff and puff, and we couldn't quite get into that top gear, right?
Yeah, it never really felt like an end product was coming. There was so many good chances. Kyrgios in the first was fantastic. He was unfortunately put it way too. What a shot, but way too wide.
Yeah.
But it just, even though Ipswich were, for a majority, they looked like the team that would make something happen more. They just never seemed to be that sort of thought that anything would really come off, because everything they tried, Watford had an answer for, and it wasn't gelling tonight.
No. Well, we made the 3 changes, didn't we? So Johnson came in for Davis, and that had been kind of alluded to, hadn't it, post QPR, that Davis and Hurst had hamstring injuries. And as you rightly say, Hurst makes it, but Davis does not. Kuste came in for Taylor, which I think was fairly obvious given Kuste got no game time at Loftus Road Saturday. So I think that tells us everything. And of course, the one that was a surprise to most people was obviously Akpom coming in for Nunes. Look, we started off pretty well, didn't we? I mean, we obviously score after 68 seconds, Steve B, at QPR on Saturday, and we got off to a pretty good start here, didn't we? I mean, within 30 seconds, we got a corner. Within 2 minutes, we've got a free kick. Who would you rather have over that? Nunes. Well, he's sitting on the bench and took it, winning the stands. But it looked positive, Steve B, right from the start, didn't it?
Yeah, it did look positive, and we're moving the ball around. And obviously we've got those opportunities, but like you say, Matt, it's no good when you've got your free kick. And let's be honest, he's quality in the free kick department. He's sitting on your bench. It's frustrating at times. But yeah, we did start well, but unfortunately, we just felt like we couldn't kill him off.
We also started well against Charlton. We that in the second half. Right? Again, under floodlights at Portman Road. Steve Thompson, you mentioned it just a minute ago. Kuste obviously came back into the side about the 10-minute mark. That lovely little, again, what's good about Kuste, isn't it? Close control, nutmegs Pollock. And it was a lovely side foot Thierry Henry style shot, wasn't it? Unfortunately, just went wide of the right post. But that was a lovely moment.
I enjoyed seeing that. Yeah, I do like Kyrgios. He's a fantastic footballer. I think him and Matasiwa, we've got such a strong midfield. It was a shame that shot didn't come off really. But it was, although Taylor's been doing really well, I did enjoy seeing Kyrgios back starting again, because I do like watching him. He's a terrific player.
He's had some good home performances, hasn't he? You think Norwich, you think Portsmouth, maybe not so good away, which is why maybe Taylor came back in. But Steve B, obviously 15-minute mark. We mentioned Charlton just a minute ago. Once again, we throw away a cheap goal, don't we? Not very aptly named Loser. Imran Loser, they bought for about 9 million from Nantes a few seasons ago, and he's their top scorer, top assist maker, their number 1 player. He plays in quite a deep role, doesn't he? But seems to float between the CDM role and the attacking midfield role. And obviously that the lad Barr put the wasn't sheepish. It's a little sheep pun for you there. Wasn't sheepish about that back heel through Furlong and Matasiwa. Bowler puts the cross in. A little bit lucky that it came off O'Shea's backside.
Yeah.
Loser's doorstep and he taps it in. But again, it felt like an avoidable goal, right, Steve?
Yeah, I think it did, and that's what I said with Gov this day about having, and I keep going on about Nunez, but having them. I said they're very physical side. They play off the wings and they fill the midfield, and that's what I said. Having Nunez come in and play if you lose the ball, play a 3 in the middle, let him drop in because he can do that. He's done that for Norwich before, and just to break it up a bit, and the loser, the guy loser, he's their puppet maker as well. He's a really good player on foot on the ball. And we just needed to break that up. We just gave it a bit too much, and unfortunately, yeah, it was a deflection, but it was of our own making. That I think sometimes we just didn't break it down enough. Didn't break it down in the positions that we could have broke it down.
Yeah, exactly that. Steve Thompson, what was your thoughts when that went in? Did you think, oh God, it's going to be Charlton all over again? Or was you confident that Town could maybe, given that we'd scored 4 goals at Loftus Road and was very clinical on Saturday, did you feel like under the lights of Pullman Road we could get back into the game?
I felt it was typical Ipswich. They were the team in the ascendancy. They were the team that were looking like causing the most threat. And suddenly it's up the other end and bang, 1-0 down. I was confident they'd get back into it. I was also confident they'd go on and win it, to be honest. But it was just, like I said earlier, too wasteful. But they'd looked good, so I was confident that they'd at least get back into it. It just felt like typical Ipswich, really. It's like, we look good to get the first goal here, and then suddenly it's like a sucker punch up the other end. Yeah.
Big shout out to MPR, who's given us $9.99 in a super sticker. Many thanks for that. I hope you're enjoying the show. With Steve Thompson, I'll stay with you because we do get back on level terms within about 5 minutes. And it's Jaden Philogene with his 6th goal of the season. But big shout out to Kipre. I mean, Steve, you're talking about Nunez being kind of like pulling the strings. Well, he would have been proud of that pass from Kipre, Steve Thompson. That's a beautiful ball through and a typical Jaden finish, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was brilliant. Philogene looked great tonight. I think he was definitely a good performance from him tonight. The goal was just what we'd expected from him, really. It was. He seems to at Pullman Road. He just seems a whole other level.
He's a different player there,
and he's another great performance tonight. Really happy with that. And it didn't take long for us to get back level. So
yeah, it was good. Within about 5 or 6 minutes, Steve B, tell us about the Jaden finish. I mean, as soon as Kipre put that ball through, you just knew he was going to score. Didn't you? I mean, amazing if he'd missed.
Beautiful. He's really high on energy at the moment and confidence, which is nice to see. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those things where you see him flourish. Obviously, he had a struggling, obviously, last season with injuries and bits and pieces, and obviously with pre-season as well, Matt. He was really on fire until he got that injury, which knocked him back a little bit. But I think we're really seeing him come to fruition now and really, really enjoying his football, which is nice to see.
Steve B, were you a fan of Philogene when he came in? I was quite critical when he came in January. He looked like someone who didn't want to be here. But suddenly this season, and we saw it in pre-season, you think back to the game like against Aberdeen, for example, you actually started seeing flashes of what we've been seeing for the 6 goals so far.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think his agent had a lot to do with that as well, Matt.
Yeah, there
was a lot around him. Maybe his behaviour, his attitude, and bits and pieces like that. And like I said, with the injuries, he didn't have the best of starts. And we know what our fan base is like. Sometimes it's really easy to jump on a bandwagon and go, "Oh, this player doesn't want to play for us," and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
But I think now he's fully fit and he's fully running and he's fully going. And we're seeing the best of him. So may long continue. That's all I can say.
Steve Thompson, we saw Eagly again, was getting sort of praise off the Sky Sports commentary tonight. Were you impressed with his performance?
I was, yeah. It's only a matter of time until he bangs in an absolute screamer.
We keep saying this, don't we? Every game we keep saying this, yeah.
It's got to be this game, and then it's got to be the next one. A bit like Azon, really. But he seems to be, he seems to be growing in confidence, every game. Happy to see him play the full 90 again, and there were some great balls in from that right-hand side. The right-hand side looked really good, I think, tonight. Eggly making it work really well. He just needs that final, just a goal to boost that confidence. But he's really happy with him tonight. He looked really good.
Do you think Eagly can? Well, I mean, I was chatting about it with an Ipswich fan I know earlier today. We were talking about the fact that, you know, when Amari came in, he looked raw. We had to give him a bit of time. By the time we got to the end of the season, he was kind of spearheading that promotion campaign from the Championship to the Premier League. Do you think Eagly is great? He's not going to get any much worse than what he is now. I mean, he's growing and progressing, which is fantastic to see as a 19-year-old in a new country, new culture.
Yeah, he's still really young. It's a whole new league, whole new country. He's only going to get better, isn't he? And he's, like I say, he's growing game by game. You can see his confidence is increasing. And as soon as he gets that goal, I think once he gets that first goal, they're going to come flying in. It's just get that last monkey off your back, you know.
Yeah, exactly that. We could have done with that this evening, really, couldn't we? Steve B, we're going to the second half, and 5 minutes in, Akpom actually has a very good opportunity to score, doesn't he? And it actually hits a bit of a rocket. And Selvik made a decent save, but a little bit like Eagly, really. You're waiting for Akpom to get off the mark in order for the floodgates maybe to open. I mean, he's done it in this division before, 27 odd goals for Borough a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah. I mean, it was an absolute scorcher, wasn't it? It was a great save as well. So, kudos to the keeper. We're just waiting for. There's a few players like we discussed that need to have that little bit of spark. And this when we got promoted, the majority of our goals came from those areas. You know, you had your Chaplins, you had your Broadheads, you had your Burns. That they were supplying goals as well as the top men. So actually, the way that we play, that lends ourselves to them goals come from them places. And like you say, Steve, I think once them first couple of goals go in, then I think we'll see confidence growing and going from there. But it just needs to fly in. They just need to come.
Yeah, exactly that. Let me we've got some questions coming in here for you lads here as well. Here's one for you, Steve Thompson. Kernow Tractor Boy. McKenna must stop chopping and changing. Champions League sides played the same 11 as at the weekend. I guess when he makes those changes, like I don't know, like Akpom coming in and scoring tonight, you're not going to get that criticism, are you? But the fact that they don't score and we're still sitting here waiting for them to get off the mark kind of lends itself to that criticism, I guess.
It's one of those things, isn't it? You know, if Akpom comes in and scores, everyone's praising the change. If he doesn't, then it's a criticism. I know that some changes, obviously Davis was forced, that can't be helped. But when it's a couple of changes, particularly on a 3-game week as well, I can kind of understand it. I know Nunez, for example, would have loved to see him start again, but could he start a couple of games in a 3-game week? We know that he's obviously had a previous injury record at Norwich.
Yeah, that's true.
Are you sort of protecting one of your best assets?
Yeah, exactly that. You never really know behind the scenes. I mean, he might have had a bit of a knock after QPR and they protect him by putting him on the bench. But as Steve B, as you rightly said, and I said Sunday, there's a chance he might not be in the team, and he wasn't.
The other thing is, Matt, is that Champions League game is not a championship game, is it? Let's be honest. That Watford are a massively physical side. And actually, you've got to set up to realise that that's going to be the case. I'm not saying, do 5, 6, 7 changes, but I think it was soon. Yeah, we have. But it's not like, you've got to think about that sort of element. You've got another game on Saturday as well. And I understand what he's done and how he's done it. I just think Nunez is the one where that type of game, we huffed and puffed and we can blow the doors down. Did we improve a little bit when he came on? Yeah, I think we did. I think
we got 10 minutes plus injury time. Yeah,
we got some time on the ball with him, and you saw the opportunities. And I'm sure Matt will bring up the opportunities later on about obviously Azon and other bits and pieces that we've got. But I just think we've just got to be mindful. This isn't Champions League. This is Championship football, which is, I would say, harder within itself, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Championship games come thick and fast as well. I mean, we play again Saturday. Watford play again Friday night against Bristol City, I think it is. Sega Zombie agreeing with you. Steve Thompson, Eagly was fantastic tonight. He was getting a lot of praise on Sky. Yeah. There was a funny moment in the 52nd minute where Matasiwa and Jaden sort of went toe-to-toe, didn't they?
Yeah,
reminded me of McGilton and David Johnson back at the Valley in 25 odd years ago. Steve B, what did you make of that? Was that just sort of passion? passions just overriding a little bit.
Matt Seawell was telling Jaden to pass the ball. You lip read him, with some expletives, but it was pass the ball. And I think when they came off the pitch, I think McKenna had a word with Matt Seawell, wagging his finger at him and this, that, and the other. So, yeah, might need to keep an eye on that a little bit. But, I think, frustrating. I think some of that, Azol was frustrated a little bit. But
people are always surprised by this stuff. You'd be surprised how often this actually happens in training. You don't often see it in front of 25, 30,000 people. But in training, I think that does happen quite a lot. Well, 10 minutes later, we do start making some subs. And it didn't surprise me that Jaden got taken off, because on came Jack Clark, Jens came off for Jack Taylor, and Hurst came off, and Evan came on. Good time for the subs. It was around sort of the hour mark, wasn't it? 62 minutes. Steve Thompson would. It always feels like the cavalry's coming on, doesn't it? When we're deadlocked, 1-1 or whatever it might be.
And there were some good subs, and I think if you've still got half an hour to play, you're getting a little bit tired. And then you see someone like Jack Clark coming on to run at you. You think, oh god,
and good off the bench.
Yeah, and he does. He put himself around a lot, and he is quick. So they made some good subs. I wasn't surprised like you to see Philogene coming off.
He was playing well though. He was playing well. I do wonder if that incident with Matasiwa maybe false.
Yeah, possibly, because he wasn't having a bad game. I mean, both Egley and Philogene were having great games. So which one do you take off, really?
Yeah.
And it's nice to see Adwan come on. I do like him. I really want him to get a goal soon. I really do, because I do like him a lot.
I wish he'd done it tonight.
And he had an absolute sitter, that header.
Yeah.
It should have been there.
Well, we're going to come to that any second now. Do you think that Bard got a yellow in the first half, Steve B? I thought he should have got a second yellow for that challenge on Furlong. That leads to the league thing.
Yeah, I did as well.
If not been on a yellow, that would have been a yellow. And I think the referee was too lenient there.
Yeah. You know who the referee was, didn't you? He was the one that sent off two of our players quite a few years ago. He it will come back to me, Matt, in a minute. But he sent two players off, Ipswich players off. I'll get the details, but I'm just trying to think of who he is. Stand by, I'll find out. And
David Webb. David Webb, his name is.
Yeah. He sent off two Ipswich players before, in quite a few years back.
Kept his cards in the pocket tonight.
He did massively.
That could have been the difference. It's those kind of things. I don't like to blame the referees, because we had plenty of chances, didn't we, to do something. But it's that inconsistency, isn't it? When you feel like he's already got a yellow, this guy. It was a reckless challenge. He really should have been a second yellow. What does everyone in the comments think, if you agree with us on that one? But yeah, we do come to the chances late on. I tell you, I mean, before we get to that, I thought when Greaves came on in the left back spot for Johnson, Steve Thompson, I thought he played very well. What does everyone think in the comments there? I thought Greaves played arguably maybe better than what Johnson was playing there, given that he's such a difficult player to replace.
Yeah. No, I was a little bit sceptical maybe when I saw he was bringing Greaves on for Johnson, because I thought Johnson had been all right, but Greaves, he had a good game. He was linking up well with Clark. There were some good runs and good passes between them. So it looks they looked really, really strong together. But
I do wonder, Steve B, I do wonder if you agree with Steve Thompson there. I do wonder on Saturday, if Davis isn't fit for the trip to Swansea, whether or not you actually start Greaves in that left back spot. He played there in the Premier League, didn't he?
I said that to Gov on the pre-show. I said I'd put Greaves in there. Just for that comment about the referee. 2013, Nottingham Forest 1-0 defeat. He dismissed Richard Stearman and Lee Martin on the same game.
What a memory you've got! It's obviously stuck in the in your mind.
Yeah. I was said Greaves to start on left back because he's played there before. He played there really well. And
as Steve Thompson said, it links up very nicely with Clark, I thought. Let's come to one of the chances though that Ivan had. Lovely crossing from Egley. We saw that Saturday that Hurst was able to put in. Steve Thompson puts in this cross. It's an absolute sitter for Ivan, isn't it? It just flashes wide. That seemed to be the moment you keep coming to that he would get off the mark, but he's got to score that. He's got
He
to score.
has, yeah. And I think if he had have scored that, I think we'd have then started to see a lot more goals from him going forward. I think that may have sort of got the weight off his mind, really, the monkey off his back, whatever it may be. But you thinking that's coming in, that's a goal. That's straight away.
Yeah,
That's it.
I was up.
2-1, that's in the bag.
I was up thinking that. I was up thinking that was in.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're to, this is the frustration, is it? Why I sit here and say we didn't look like we was in top gear, Steve B, because we're missing those chances. I mean, we're already top of the table, I think, for missing the most chances, good chances in the division right now, and that just adds to that tally, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm with Steve on this one. I think, you know, he's a confidence. We know that, Matt, from obviously the reviews we had before, where he needs a little bit of an arm round him. He's still a young guy. He's still, I think, you know, new country, and I'm not making excuses, but at the end of the day,
Got to acclimatise.
we've got to make sure that actually, you know, we have a little McKenna coaching arm around his shoulders and going, do you know what? It will come. And I think it will come. I think he's raw. I think he's a raw talent. I think he's someone that will grow as the season goes on. Whether they go in January for someone else, I don't know. I don't know whether that will be an option or whether they'll look at that or not. But let's be honest, he's an upgrade on what we had before as backup. I honestly think he is. He puts himself out. He puts himself in positions where he's able to score. He's just not got there yet. And I think, like Steve said, with confidence, I think he'll bang a few goals in. I really do. I really do.
I hope you're right. It's interesting, isn't it? I'm seeing this here from Trevor in Trevor Amos in the comments here, round about Kiefer Moore, because he obviously scores the hat trick for Wrexham on Friday. That gives Coventry their first defeat. Steve Thompson, would you have liked someone of the ilk of Kiefer Moore still in our squad? He was in the building. It's never been explained to us why he never transitioned into the Premier League with us, and now he seems to be the kind of player that we're missing. You know, number 9 role.
I'd have liked to have seen him still around, because was it when we got him back in a couple of years ago, and he immediately started scoring goals again. Was it the Preston game? We were 3-0 down, and he got a couple. Couple back.
He came on in that, didn't he? Yeah, he came on in that game.
I'd like to see him back, because I was out on Halloween on that game, but I could see a Sky TV right in front of where I was, and I could see Kiefer Moore just banging in a hat trick.
Yeah,
so we could have done with him.
But it's been a mystery to me why we didn't get, unless he didn't want to sign for us, of course. I mean, that's never been explained. But he just seems to be a good Championship level striker that would do a job for us off the bench, or even starting when Hurst isn't up to it. But there we go. We talk about Greaves. He linked up very nicely again with Clark, got the little pass in. Greaves gets to the byline, Steve B. Little nudge over into the box for Taylor, who just puts it with the outside of his boot over the bar. Again, you've got to be hitting the target there, surely. I mean, I know this yellow shirt's in the way, but you've got to be hitting the target, right?
Yeah, got a bit of composure there. I think the blood rushed to his head, and that was that. He just needs to steady that up a bit and nestle it in. But unfortunately, there's a few chances like that where we needed to show a little bit of composure, and we didn't. We just didn't.
No. I'll stay with you, Steve B, on this one. 5 minutes left. Beautiful cross from Clark. I mean, absolute pinpoint cross. Again, Evan's there. Either side of the keeper probably would have been a goal. But I mean, straight at Celtic again. But even though it was a great cross, it was probably a flash chance on the header, and I'm not sure he could have done much really.
No.
It was a good save, good reactionary save.
Yeah, it was good reactionary save. As I said, I think with Evan it will come. But yeah, I think it's just opportunities. He's getting the opportunities. If he wasn't getting in a position, Matt, where he's getting opportunities, then I'd be more inclined to go, do you know what? It's not worked out. Things are, we definitely need something to say now. But he's getting in the areas of the opportunities. And we know as a striker, you feed on that opportunity, you feed on that first goal. Here comes the first goal, second goal, third goal. Even if it's a penalty, even if it's something, like I think in the chat it said, even if it comes up his backside and goes in the goal, lovely. He'll take that, and he'll give you, the number of opportunities, the one at Norwich where, it comes off the post, that sort of stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's there, and if he wasn't getting in the positions, to be able to do that, then I'd be more worried. But I think he'll come good. I really do.
I hope you're right. Dub Chief doesn't agree with us. Didn't like Greaves on the left. No way going to be convinced he can play there. He didn't offer anything there at all, other than the chances he was helping to create and linking quite nicely with Clark. I've got to disagree with that one.
He's not a Luke Davis, is he? He's not going to set the world alight. Yeah. He's going to defend. He's not going to give you that Luke Davis says.
No, exactly that. And in Steve Thompson, right at the very end, a corner comes over, ball comes loose, and Nunes is there and kind of flashes at it and ends up in the top tier of the North stand rather than in the back of the net. Kind of summed up the evening, really, didn't it?
That was that game all over, wasn't it? Really, it was very much what could have been. As soon as Nunes got his foot on it, I thought, all right, top corner. Oh no, top of the stand instead. Fine, okay. And that it was, no matter how many charges they had, no matter who was there, they just could not get one in, could they?
It's been kind of the story of the season. And Steve, if you think back to the West Bromwich Albion game, actually we played very similar to tonight as we did in that. But we got lucky in that one, in that West Brom buggered it up, didn't they? Playing out from the back. We was able to capitalise. We just didn't quite get that opportunity to score the second tonight, did we?
No, and that was, like I said to in the pre-game show, they play differently. They play out to the wingers and hit on the counter. We were always going to get quite a considerable amount of the ball, but it's just we pressed and we pushed, but there wasn't a mistake there. And unfortunately, you can't rely on that sometimes, Matt. You can't rely on that mistake to get us out of jail. We huffed and we puffed, but we just couldn't blow the door down.
Yeah, and Steve Bale, I mean, it was a difficult time to play Watford, wasn't it? I mean, they came off a very good win at Vicarage Road on Saturday against Borough. Javi Garcia's gone back in there again. I mean, he's their 17th manager in the last 10 years, I counted.
It's madness.
I mean, had a lot of managers.
Madness.
He obviously wants to go back, doesn't he? But, I mean, he took them to the FA Cup final a fair few years ago, didn't he? So it was a difficult time to play. And that's not an excuse, but a difficult time to play them off the back of beating Borough, who did a number on us, and a new manager back in there who knows the territory and has had success there.
I mean, I know it's frustrating that we feel like it's 2 points dropped, but we haven't lost the game. Do you know what I mean? That's another thing you've got to look at, is that actually we could have quite easily, and there would have been points in Town's history, let me say, that actually at that point we would have crumbled and that would have been that. Yeah. So actually, if you look at it, we potentially dropped 2 points, but we have got 1 point. We have drawn, and actually we need to move forward, and hopefully we've got through unscathed, apart from a few fisticuffs in the middle of the pitch. But that's what McKenna earns the big bucks for. But do you know what I mean? We move on to Swansea and we go again. And actually, if we're getting that opportunities, there are going to be times where that's going to be the case in the Championship. We ain't always going to have it the way we had it when we went up. It's not the same team. It's a different group of players, and we need to realise that.
Yeah, exactly that. And you talk about falling apart. Well, we actually have done that in the last 2-3 weeks, haven't we, against Charlton? But you are right. It's 7 points from 3. That, Steve Thompson, is generally promotion form, isn't it? 2 points per game average. And I guess, Steve, if you think about it, if you'd had the West Brom win, a QPR draw, and then we win tonight, which still gives you the same points tally as 7, the dynamic changes, doesn't it? I suppose it was expectations off the back of a really commanding performance at QPR.
Yeah.
And then it's been a bit of a damp squib tonight in a 1-1, isn't it? I guess.
Yeah, it feels sort of back down to earth for the bump, doesn't it, really? Because QPR was fantastic. And it does still feel like 2 points drop, but it could have been so much worse, and it was still a solid performance. So, I think, take the rough with the smooth, really, and look at the positives.
Yeah,
I'm not complaining. I'm disappointed, I suppose, in a way, but I wouldn't say I'm complaining as such.
And Steve Thompson, are you still confident Town can go to Swansea on Saturday and do something there?
Oh, I think so. I think we'll nick a cheeky little win there. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Hopefully we can keep it clean cheeks. That's not happened enough recently.
Yeah, exactly that. Steve B, think we can go to Swansea?
Yeah, I think so. I think we can. We just got to get behind the boys. We just got to make sure that we, there are some players on there that are confidence players at the top, as on Jack Clark, Philogene, Egley. They're confidence players, so we need to make sure we back them. And as frustrating as it might be that we have them opportunities, we've still got to just back them and make sure that they know that we're behind them. That's all we need to do.
Exactly that. Totally agree. Okay, we've done half an hour. That'll do. We're back again tomorrow. Me and the Gov. Maybe other people will be involved as well. I think we're going to be back 8 o'clock on the Wednesday as usual. Steve B, thanks for your time. Steve Thompson, thanks for your time. Great chatting to you both. Keep smiling, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. All the best.
You've reached the end. Thank you so much for watching. Hit here to subscribe. It's totally free. And hit here for more Talking Town videos. I'll see you on the next one.